This is the Louis T. Network.
In the lab room.
Welcome, you are in the lab room. I'm your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Wow. Here to break down another divisional matchup, family business, between the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are at home, versus the Indianapolis Colts. I was let down major in this football game. I went out on a limb. I said that Jacksonville was going to win, and I felt like Blaine Gabbert was going to come back from that injury and have one last hurrah before he hangs himself and shows the Jacksonville Jaguars organization once and for all that he is not the guy, he can't get it done, and they move on from him. But I thought he had one more solid performance in him, one more time to kind of get the hopes up of this franchise before he let them down hard. One more time. Nope. He's not doing anything. This guy stinks. This football team stinks. And they started out this game with a lot of aggression, a lot of passion. They get a field goal early on after they force a turnover from Andrew Luck. And, whoa, wait a minute now. These guys are playing with a little bit of intensity. They force a couple of punts. They get a field goal. And they're up 3-0. And they're feeling good about themselves. And they got that field goal. And after they kicked the field goal, the Indianapolis Colts asked the Jacksonville Jaguars, hey, you guys comfortable? And the Jacksonville Jaguars said, hey, what do you mean? Colts said, are you comfortable? And Jacksonville Jaguars said, not really. And the Colts tossed them a pillow. You comfortable now? Nah. And the Colts said, okay, here, take a blanket too. And Jacksonville said, hey, well, I could use one more pillow. And Indy tossed them one more pillow and said, hey, how do you feel now? And Jacksonville said, I feel pretty good now. I'm straight. And they said, good. Stay there. And they didn't move from 3. They got comfortable, got their pillow, put their feet up, had their blanket, and they went to sleep. They went to sleep. They didn't score another point. 37 unanswered points hung on their head. And they didn't even show up. They got 3 points, they got content, and they were finished scoring for the day. And Blaine Gabbert threw 3 interceptions, one of which takes us to our momentous moment of the game. They're in the football game. It's 3-3 at this juncture. They're hanging tough. Blaine Gabbert throws the football to Cecil Shorts III. He drops it, bobbles it, tips it up. It's picked off by Darius Butler, and he takes it the distance to the house. It's 10-3. That essentially set off a chain of events that allowed the Jacksonville Jaguars to be blown out in this football game. And that was your momentous moment. Anytime the Jacksonville Jaguars start off good and something bad happens, it all goes downhill from there. I mean, this team does things that no one else in the league does. And I find it hard to believe how inept they can be sometimes. But then I remind myself, it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. Don't put anything past these guys. I'll give you an example. They complete a 16-yard pass. The play stands, okay? The play stands. How is it that you complete a 16-yard pass, yet the play, after it's all said and done, before you snap the ball again, nets you -4 yards? How does that happen? I'll tell you how it happens. You catch a 16-yard pass, then you get a 15-yard penalty that sends you back 15 yards. So you're still at 1 yard net. Then you have too many guys on the field, 12 men in the huddle, 5-yard penalty before you snap the ball again. So your 16-yard game turns into -4 yards. And oh yeah, by the way, your next play is going to be a drop by Denard Robinson, who, by the way, he stinks. And I thought he was going to be better. I thought he was going to be a guy that you could use in different situations that could pose a threat and a mismatch to opposing defenses. No, he can't catch. He doesn't do anything well. He fumbles the football. He's not a football player. He's not an athlete. He's not a guy you just stick on the field and he just does something. He's just a guy. Good to see Ace Sanders get involved with the offense, though, but it doesn't matter. This team stinks. They don't do anything right, and I don't know where you go from here. You need a new quarterback. You need a lot of new stuff. Your offensive line sucks. Will Rackley is terrible. You need a lot in Jacksonville. I'm not even impressed with the number 2 overall selection. And so, look, there's a lot wrong with the Jacksonville Jaguars. I could sit here and break it all down, but I need about 10 hours. I don't have that kind of time. So I'm just going to talk about the Indianapolis Colts throttling these Jacksonville Jaguars quickly and get out of here. Look, the Colts got it done. Andrew Luck was sharp. He did turn it over early, but he bounced back. Reggie Wayne, 100 yards on 5 catches. Really good football game. Trent Richardson is a 3 yards per carry back. I don't know if you can change that by switching teams. 20 carries, 60 yards. If I do my math correctly, let's see. 20 divided by 60, 3 yards per carry. That's not going to get it done in the National Football League, but it'll get it done versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hurry back, Ahmad Bradshaw. This offense needs you. Luckily enough, in this football game, Donald Brown offset those 60 yards with 66 of his own on 3 carries. So it makes this offense look like they actually had a solid day running the football when they really didn't, because you didn't get much out of Richardson. But he did score a touchdown, which is what he does best. You put him in by the end zone, this guy has a nose for the goal line and he'll get it in. But the Colts took care of business. They dominated. This Colts team is changing their identity. They're dominating teams defensively. They're running the football, whether you like it or not. Look, they didn't have the most success, but they're not going away from the run. Andrew Luck is facilitating this football around, spreading it around to all of his targets. This is a dangerous team in the AFC South right now. And with the Houston Texans struggling to put teams away, look out for the Indianapolis Colts as they go to 3-1 on the season with a 37-3 beatdown, or as my professor used to call it, a sound thrashing at the hands of the Indianapolis Colts. Jaguars fall to 0-4. And I don't know when this team is going to win. This team is terrible. Terrible. I don't know when these guys are going to get a win. If these guys are going to get a win. I don't know who they're going to beat. The way they play football, I don't see them beating anybody. So there you have it. Thank you for joining me. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the Lab Room. Have a good one. See you next time. Like the content? Want more? Sub up.
In the lab